Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Today is almost the last day before the last day of July 2026, and there will be no other day in history like July 2026. This day will live in infinite because it will never be. Anyway, let me say again, welcome to Second Talk. My name is Yacindy Martin Kapir. I'm a war survivor and advocate for women and children. I'm a mother, I'm a wife. Um, I'm a voice for those who have not yet found a voice to be heard. So we stand in the gap. Tonight, we will be talking about Liberia. Obviously, yes, Liberia. There's a lot going on in the United States, but I like to focus on the small place that we that brought home the former free slave to the mainland or to the mother's land, where other people existed before, in the name of freedom, coexisting, and liberty. Okay, a safe haven, an oasis for Black people, or Black people for that matter. And 179 years later, where are we? Well, we prepare to lead ourselves. Those who come in, where they prepare, where we able to integrate instead of bring upon the very thing that we escape. If you look at our Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, I will advise every Liberian, though, I'm not going to read it because I read it so many times on this platform. I am not going to, okay? Maybe I get an AI reading so other people can hear that. Everything that we accuse where we left from, we become just that. And but tonight I will focus on the amount of controlled substance that have made its way to this small country, this very little country. That's what I want to talk about. And how the leadership has continued to stay challenged and fail. Yeah, fail. 90% unemployment. Over 300,000 young people addicted to controlled substance. 70% of women being raped. These are not my words. Okay. These are documented cases. A few months back or more, the president of the Republic of Liberia was accused, okay, of building a $10 million project. Did you all hear me? A $10 million project. Now, let me give you a little background, and most of you will not like that, but that is fine. I'm cool with that, okay? When this president, 2 years, because the president was vice president to the former president, 3 years out of office, explained to us that he did not have enough to live on. He was living off a loan. We raised money to pay hospital bill for him, to pay bills for him, to take care of him. When this person comes to power, and in no time, the life and livelihood of the Liberian people has not changed. But he and his cabinet have changed. His wife, his children, his nephew, his nieces, they're all in the government, in top positions. Some are ambassadors, some are advisor, some are bank governor, or some big person in the bank. And here we go. The son bring his friends. Majority of the friends that he brought in, we all know they were BM. We call them black money or people who do illegal stuff. Okay. And those things were brought forth when these names were called. Because we live in the digital world today, because of social media, Liberians home and abroad are able to do analysis of this character in real time and object to it or amplify those people, even people who have showed up for confirmation that could not verify the credentials. these things have played out. But okay, we get it. The president want to give opportunity. But when a nation is in this predicament, it's not a try and error, because lives and livelihood depends on that. Okay, we can't continue to risk lives. I want to play something today. I listened to the IG. I have been one of those calling for the dismissal of the IG, and I still believe the IG needs to be dismissed. Okay, or at minimum, he needs to be suspended. He needs to sit back, because here's what I'm going to tell you. Nobody, no business person, whether it's legal or illegal, especially when it's illegal, okay, no business person would take things that they believe is illegal, but it's a high risk, because the fund that they involve is in the millions, hundreds of millions, or in the billions. That's a lot of money we're talking about, okay? That's money that is more than the nation, okay, budget. We take that and trust the bottom, okay? The bottom of the leadership is not possible. Hey, Lasso, nobody would do that. Lasso, please share the video. Now, let me explain to you why is that this Telgo in Eston. Okay, Eston, come on, where is he? All right. Eston, welcome. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. How yourself?
Okay. I'm good. Bring
Let me adjust my camera. Right. I
Yes,
about to.
good.
I need to make the requisite adjustment. 1 second. Let me get
Folks,
myself.
I'm gonna stop a little bit. I'm just gonna bring this, and then I'm gonna stop, and then I'm gonna have Elston introduce himself. Most of you will already know his name. He's been into media for a very long time. I've been chasing him to come on, so today he agreed to come on the last minute, and I'm grateful to have him. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Then I'm gonna finish my thought. Then we're gonna come back, and he will have his side, how he view things. Okay, but also I'm gonna learn just a touch so I can keep up with my thought. Is and I was talking about the goods, whether we like it or not, in the business arena, it will still be a business. It's a business. It's an illegal business. It's a toxic business.
Right.
Okay, and people put time and money in it, and it's a dangerous business. It's a dangerous business to a nation, especially with a small population, that our people are struggling, that the people are literally, I would say, most are depressed. They're walking around with no hope because they don't know where the next meal is going to come from. You got 64% living below the poverty line. Nothing has changed to date. The only thing that I gathered that have changed is that those who are in power can afford to. Some can afford to pay $35,000 to come and watch the World Cup. Some can afford to pay $13,000 to come and watch the World Cup. Some can leave and go wherever they want to go. And this is not the we are. I'm talking about just government official, because people will come and say it's we are. No, it's not
Right.
we are. We have been to the World Cup before. People have to remember that before he came to government. So I'm not making excuses for him while he was in power. I want people to understand that. Okay, I'm a judicial person. So I like to clarify so people, because people will get it wrong. Now, you will not tell me in this DNA that somebody brought in $1 billion worth of, okay, illegal substance in the country, and he went through the bottom of the bottom. That would be a very high risk. That business person, I will call that business person either crazy or they're completely just crazy. That's the word I'm going to call it. So we got to look deeper. Now, I'm going to stop here. So set your mind. You, as a Liberian, you want to send 10,000 worth of goods to Liberia. The first thing, you will either get on the plane to go to Liberia, or you'll find a trusted person that will get that. You're going to be out there at the seaport to make sure you get your product out, okay? So nobody will sit in another country, across continent, and send the bottom person who cannot afford to eat or cannot even afford to build a house, and trust them with $1 billion worth of goods, be it legal or illegal. That's my logic. So let's welcome Elston to the platform. Elston, please introduce yourself and just give us a little background of you so we can. For me, I'm a professional person.
Right.
I believe in giving background. It gives credibility to why you talk
Certainly.
and the way you talk.
Certainly. By way of introduction, my name says it. I'm Elston Wisse, affectionately called the legend, a name given me by my sixth grade math instructor. I very seldom like to tell the story, but I'll leave it at that. And I practice journalism in Liberia, in both print um, and electronic media. More so in the sports arena, I was very popular at one point. The most famous George Weah that we all talk about today. I once upon a time presented sports on his Clara TV World Cup and the Nations Cup, leading up to my
Oh,
departure from the
wow.
country. Yeah, up to a lot of people remember me. There are people who invite me and be like, the Peking, they used to say back then, right? So it's funny. Our country and the capital Monrovia is so small. So we are station was just like right there around Benson Street area. So when I come from Clara TV, then everybody can converge at the Attire Center on Kerry Street, where all the
Right.
guys would sit at the Attire Center to play checker, play cards, Scrabble. And when I come there, be like, oh, but at the small beginning, I was on the TV channel talking about the game in the World Cup. 'Cause, before the game start, we'll introduce the game, who's playing in the World
Yeah.
Cup. Then 2006, they have both the World Cup and the African Cup 2006. So I was presenting it live on TV before those games
Oh,
started.
wow.
Me and few friends, like the guy who when you watch the Intel Sports, if you watch it, the African Cup, African Nation, if you watch the county meet, the guy who was producing and presenting it, this famous county meet that we just had, his name is Benjamin Gagba. He and I will analyze the program along with Abraham William, the Abraham William who is a staunch citizen today that you
Yes.
all see.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he and
Mm-hmm.
Joe we came along where he used to be with Clark TV, and then they all incorporated me because I was not staff there. I was now working there, but because they knew I was doing sports in the country, so they brought me on and we presented the program. I led the team, and it was fun. So I have a pretty decent amount of exposure to this mass media stuff,
Media.
and we love doing it. More so, living in the diaspora now, we have to be more involved because our country need us. We must chime in. We must give our candid views on issue, be it what side of the aisle we fall. And I think it is wise that we contribute to our country meaningfully. So that's why we are here. We can stop and we keep pushing the ropes. We keep hauling the requisite people and getting their attention because Liberia deserves better at the end of the day.
Amen. Great job. Yeah, great. And congratulations for your service. Thank you for your service.
Right.
Yes. So let's take it away. Let's start with it today. And I'm gonna give a quick background here where I am, and you can take it from however you want to see it. Here is what I have gathered. Okay. I gathered some information today and yesterday before I made that post this morning. The funny thing that when you write Liberian people, whatever, and I have this mindset, and this is the way I think about Liberia. Following Liberian politics since 2005, I was not really involved because the war had just ended. We were young. Some of us had just lost our family, come to the United States, making family, starting over, building ourselves. So we wanted to see where was going to go, and a lot of people were involved. My parents, everybody were involved, but I got really involved after 2006, 2007. 2007, actually in Liberia. We were the first, my husband and a few family members and close friends. There were at least 5 to 7 of us who were all professional people, mostly engineer and two, people into administration. One lady from PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is, I mean, if you know, PricewaterhouseCoopers is a renowned accounting firm, went to Liberia and opened the first all Liberian consulting organization or company that was class
Beautiful.
A. At that time, the classes were A, which was the higher that you could get. But that's a story for another day. We went
Right.
back, gave back, but we know what happened, so we returned. That's what it is. So here we are today in here. I go on before I speak. I make sure I do my research and find out. I'm gonna give a few points here, and I want Liberian people to follow this because I'm gonna take this clip and I'm gonna put it on Facebook because I'm not gonna go back to respond to everyone. It says majority of our law entwined with American law.
Right.
Whatever we have not had precedence of, we usually reference the American, laws or cases. Okay, we use the case study. But here it is in the US, okay? It says when the US government seizes illegal drugs, such as, and we know what is going on, there is a strict legal evidence process to ensure that the illegal drugs are accounted for and ultimately destroyed. But here is what happened first, okay? The drugs are seized and secure. Law enforcement officers collect whatever the drug is, photograph it, weight it, and seal it as evidence. Every person who handles it is documented through a chain of custody. Liberian people, listen, the drug is tested with what? A forensic laboratory analyst, okay? And a sample is confirmed that the substance is so and so, and is determined its purity and other characteristics. I want Liberian to understand it. Most of it is stored as evidence. A small representative sample is kept for use during criminal cases. The remainder is stored in a highly, okay, secure evidence vault. I want you all to know that in the vault, all right? The case, okay, the court case is completed. When the court case is completed, the remaining evidence until the prosecution and evidence, well, until the prosecutors and the court no longer needed, unless a judge authorized earlier destruction while preserving sufficient evidence for the trial under applicable laws. It goes to say it is incinerated, okay? But after the fact, if they feel that whatever they have threatens the state, the judge, after the thorough documentation, the judge and the prosecution will agree, okay, to have it destroyed. Now, the destruction, I don't know what the publicity was done for. It has to be, you see, when you do this thing, you have to think about the environmental effect, the human cause, okay?
Correct.
Because these are chemicals, all right? You got to think beyond what you're trying to show. And I'm going to stop here, then I'm going to do my
Right.
DC later from here. So your thought, yes.
No, you are 100% correct. And that's because I come from a war background too. So there's a war incinerate is to
Yes,
burn something completely,
yes,
burn it completely. That what happens once it has been established by the powers that be through a proper court system. Then those illicit drugs that were seized by the government get totally burned. And like you said, in well organized societies like the great United States of America, they are done in a proper manner. You're not just going to see people haphazardly destroying the drug because don't forget, you are putting things out in the air and you want to have your citizenry being safe. You don't want to pollute the air. So, yeah, you said it all relative to destroying of the drug.
mhm,
So, it's my ardent hope that the court system authorized the requisite parties in terms of the security, and they had all the people who were there that needed to be there to incinerate the illicit drugs that were caught. Now, whether that was the case, we do not know, and these are the reason why some of all we were always in the media trying to opt for transparency, no matter what the case may be. They need to
right.
be transparent because you and I saw the quantity of drugs that were on those trucks.
Paper trucks,
It was massive. It was huge. It was a gigantic amount of drugs. So if they are telling us everything that was found had been authorized to be destroyed, and they were destroyed to the benefit of the country, that would be a good thing. But if that was not the case, it defeats the purpose. The main reason why we are clamoring today for this drug issue to be resolved, because we know if it's a proliferation of drugs in the society, it comes down to our children, it comes down to our youth, it comes down to
Exactly.
destroying our future. The reason why we are speaking, a lot of us today, you and myself, we know better. Like I would tell people, when I was growing up, I think I was ahead of my class. I would tell people, so if you say, for instance, hypothetically, if you offer me something that was not good for my own liking, I would tell you, if I was going to do something wrong, like for instance, hypothetically, if I was going to smoke, it was going to be of my volition, my own free will. You're not going to make me to do something. No, no one
Exactly.
makes me to do that. I don't conform to pressure. So you and myself, we know better. We're not going to conform to pressure, but our children who are
Yes.
feeble-minded, our children who minds haven't fully developed, because life
Right.
is stages. When your mind is not developed, somebody can play on you, somebody can, that was say peer pressure, somebody can
Right.
pressure you to do something that is not of your own volition, not your own will. So with that said, it would defeat the purpose for which the drugs were arrested. We hope they did it rightly, and hope that all the drugs that were caught, they were placed in the rightful hands and they were destroyed. Because if you don't do that, the essence of arresting the drugs and trying to dispose of them, if it's not done, what they say in healthcare, if it is not done legally, if it is not written
Done
as it should
properly
be
the
done
first time,
properly,
it's not done at all.
it's not done at all. If you
Mm.
haphazardly did the job, it doesn't suffice. So yeah, it's my hope that everything was disposed of, everything was incinerated, and our country can be free. Because this issue, people tend to forget. This issue has persisted since Ellen's era. I remember
Yeah.
we dealt with drugs under Ellen. We dealt with 100 million plus drugs under George Weah.
We
And
deal with 500 million drugs on Ellen and
people
on
forget
and
that, you
on
see
and
me.
on. Yes.
People forget that we've been dealing with the issue, and to play devil's advocate, and to all the people who have had power since the inception of the war, it's not all their fault. War and the way society is today, these things are going to happen. But you in authority, you have to play your part to curtail it in your country, because it's very dangerous for society. So we deal with it on an Ellen, like you just said, 500 or whatever amount of it. We dealt with it on a George Weah. You all know the 100 million worth of drugs. The people were scot free. They went to court. They were
Thank
acquitted,
you.
and they were left to go free. And people, I have to remind people, there was a guy, I believe he's a foster brother of Clyde Weah. That gentleman, his name was Duncan. Duncan was caught
Donkey.
with drugs, and people forget that that incident occurred in Liberia under the
Yeah.
CDC-led administration, for which a lot of us, we opted for an octogenarian or 80-year-old Joseph Boakai, who felt he's been in state power for a long time. Look, he had nothing to lose. Just do right by the Liberian people, and you leave your legacy. But the pace at which things are unfolding, in terms of handling a difficult situation, and you say you are there to rescue the country, the pace at which it is happening is not, in a total liking of the Liberian populace. For which reason we want to call on them to do more, because they can do more. If you have state power, the people vote you in power, you have the authority to do more. So we want to see action and not words. So I'll retire there and let you to have your say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing that name up. What I'd like to add on this, why I agreed to some degree. I think that's what I wanted to speak to, what you just talked about. When those narcotics were confiscated or seized by the government under the Weah's-led government, when the people went to court, they said there were insufficient evidence and they were set free. Based on that particular history, as an educator and as an informed, well-traveled, well-experienced woman, we'll always go to precedent. That's why the people in law history, they call it antecedent. What do we build upon? I'm building upon where we have been, the mistakes that we've made, okay? And majority of the time, before we can actually prosecute all these things to come to forefront, all the international community have to be involved. Although majority of our security funding go to the NSA, then the question that begs an answer is, why are you putting the money for NSA? Is it only to protect the president? Is the president, does the president becomes the republic? Or is this supposed to be there for civilian, okay, to see what is happening? Our borders, who coming into the country? Not just too long ago in Brownsville, they caught a whole house full of drugs. All right. Now, here we go. Here is another thing that I need to understand from there. Donkey, the other group that disappeared, the plane that came from Liberia, that landed in the Sierra Leone. Okay, we know all of this. Now, where my particular problem is at this point with this leadership is, and I would tell those who know me, who are truthful, will say, yeah, it's a judicial person. Ask anybody who even support Mr. Cummings that have been with me in the chat room. I would say a lot of people don't like me because a lot of Liberians don't like truth speaking. They don't. They don't. If you didn't meet me before and you talk to somebody from a party that I've been in, they have a different perspective of me than I have of myself. And that is okay for me. Okay. I have the audacity to be disliked. Because like you just said, you don't have to like me. I'm going to speak my truth. All right. I would love to wear the mask that everybody wear, but my conscience would not allow me. And I think my people, my family did me wrong because they taught me to always listen to those hearts. So the point I'm carrying here is, Elston, here we are. Okay. Musa Ability's son, okay, who has his own name. I'm using this because that's how they call him. Was caught with not even $5,000 drugs. His father became the face of drug dealing in Liberia. They drag him. His father, he's not afraid of flight risk. Bailing out. They grab him. They threaten his business. They paraded him. Bucky Raw, okay, had a recreational drugs with him. Even in America, you are allowed to have certain percentage of drug on you.
Correct.
For recreational purposes. There is a measurement that you cannot exceed. That you can drink, but you can drink at certain level to drive. Right. All right. Nobody called him. They went to his residence with no probable cause, invaded his space, brutalized him. Okay. Amplify him. He had a program that week. That's how he raised his funds. They lock him up for the weekend. Not only did they lock him up, they could not free him. They charged him $7,000 for him to be built out. People have to raise that fund to build him out. He makes his opportunity to perform. Okay. For me, it's a sabotage. All right. And because they have asked him, I am told, to join certain political party, and he refused. This is why, if you read our Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, that's precisely why the people wanted to resettle in Liberia. When your government does not see you, they only see the political party. They see their tribe. They see their county. But I will start here. This is my thought on this. I think with this amount of drugs, the people name they're calling, these are the crawfish. We need a crab.
Exactly. Look, let me join you and be very candid here. Look, we do not need justice to be selective. If what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you were going to be stern across the board, because remember, to extend to the presidency, everybody may not vote for you, but when you govern, you are governing the country. You are governing everybody. You cannot be selective in rendering justice to people, and you are right. And matter of fact, there's a video circulating online that I watched earlier. today of Mr. Ability, who happened to be the standard bearer of CMC. He was
Right.
leaving the country, and somebody was trying to handle his luggage at the Rabat International Airport. I don't know if you've seen that video. I saw it this morning,
No, I've
and he
not
was like,
seen it. Please send it to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. So it goes like this. He's trying to leave the airport. Like he's trying to leave the place and enter the airport, and somebody's like, "Sir, Mr. Ability, let me help you with your luggage." He's like, "No, no, no, I don't need help with my luggage because I don't want somebody to put something in and get me in trouble." So that just goes
And
to
he's
show. I
right.
mean, right? He's serious, but you can tell he's displaying his humor because he doesn't want an instant where something happened and they say, "Oh, we found this in your luggage
Yeah,
because somebody put something
yeah,
in it." So yeah, it's serious.
yeah.
I mean, come on. If we're gonna dispense justice, let's go across the board. Let's be fair. We saw what happened, like you said earlier, what happened to Bucky Raw, our musician. I mean, Bucky Raw easily is my top five in terms of Liberian artists. He has to be in my top five. Somebody who love music very much. So, and and what we saw, what happened to him, what happened to he and his colleagues when they were arrested, how it was all portrayed on social media. We saw it from the inception when they went and picking up from his house to when they landed him behind bars at the central prison, the
Yeah.
South Beach. And we don't see the same happening for others who have been aligned today with the unfolding huge amount of drugs in the country. So we want to call on the government. Fair is fair. If you are the president, if you are the head of the country, you are the head of the country for all. Whether somebody supports your ideology, somebody supports your candidacy, once you extend to state power, you are there to dispense justice across the nation fairly and just be able to do the job. The job entails you being fair to all men. Let's say in Temple of Justice on the building, it says, "Let justice be done to all
To
men."
all men.
This is some men. So let's be fair. And the thing that will help this country that I foresee for those who are in the diaspora, the more we be outspoken about the issue, like myself here, it's no secret, I one of those who never joined the party, but I supported this president. But the fact that he is there today, when I see wrong, like from the inception, when they had that mishap during the inauguration and the failure that caused lack of ventilation there that caused the
Yeah,
president to
no air
go out,
condition.
I
Yeah.
called it out. I condemned that. When they had the Sinister FOIA project going on, I did air my sentiment, I air my frustration that why they carry on such a massive structure in Lofa County, the president's home, and not much has been said about it. And today we are dealing with this drug issue. Though we support the president, we must say the truth. The pace at which things are unfolding and what we want to see, it must be done. Because if we don't do that, we pull our lineage, whether we like the president, like myself, we put it above country and it defeats our integrity, it defeats our objectivity, and we don't need to do that. We need to put our integrity first, we put our objectivity in front, and we speak for our country before any party sentiments or lineage to any leader.
Thank you. So you talk about, and I'm just going to pick it back, maybe bounce off for you about the FOIA project. That's one of my concerns. Okay, and I started the conversation with this. Here is a man who could not afford to buy food for himself. He said he was living off a loan. For a hospital, his friends like Cummings and other people, him and Costa, would raise funds for him to go to the hospital. 2.5 years into his presidency, there is a massive project that is going on in his hometown. That no activity happens. There's no business activity. This is not Guinea and Nimba border. This is not Nimba and Ivory Coast border. This is not Senegal, no, this is Ganta. That is the second business capital of Liberia. That is not that. You're building this massive building worth 10 million or 15 million. We're yet to get the actual number. Okay. And first, nobody knew what it was. The president didn't know what it was. Then he showed up on the radio interview and said, oh, I know what it is. But if they had said something to me, they knew that I would not have agreed. So they did that anyway. Then the question I begs and answer, and I'm sick of people talking about, diverting the conversation and holding people accountable. Elston, if I gave you a piece of job to do, and I say, Elston, I'm trusting you to do this job, okay? Create your own team and make sure your team deliver. Here is my benchmarks. Here are my timeline. Every now and then, I will check in with you to see where we are. This is the timeline. This is what needs to be delivered. If you do not deliver, I have no qualms with those around you. You chose them to work with you. These are the people that you put your trust in for the job that I've given you to deliver. So to come on and say, oh, Elsa, it is the people around you. It means I do not even believe in you that you will make the calls or you do have a good judgment. You are telling me that you are incompetent. In fact, I am telling you that you are incompetent because your success depends on the people around you and because that the people who making you do what you do. So what were the essence of being hiring you? Here is where I'm going to put this in the simplest possible terms, okay? Yes, I studied a lot of government. I studied democracy, Republican, federal system, autocracy, different, what do you call it? And I teach it too. So I need people to understand this. It's part of government that we choose, okay? It's either the power is in the hand of the people, the power is in a group of people hand, the power is in one person hand, like somebody have like dictatorship, like you have like the Saudi prince. A law does not become a law unless he say it's a law. He can write a law today, he can make this dismiss the law tomorrow. But in our form of government, which is the way we agreed and organized to lead ourselves, is a democracy, meaning we rule by the people. The people give you the power and you represent them. All right. So now here's where I am going with this. For the people of Liberia to say that the people around Bouaka, we did not hire the people around Bouaka. Let's be clear. We did not hire the people around Weah. We did not hire the people around Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We hired Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We hired George Weah. And indeed, we hired, whether directly or not, when the majority spoke, we all hired him to lead the nation, not to rule it. He's not a ruler. He's not a dictator, okay? He's not a king. We did not crown a king. So he's answerable to us, okay? And we have the right with our representative, assemble and instruct. Now, when you show up, they beat you. The very thing that we told, CDC yesterday about beating people. We beat people, we waste hot water on them, and here we are. Now, maybe a lot of people know, but they don't know. I see a lot of new people around Pape Bouaka. I've known Pape Bouaka for years. I've done business with him. My late brother was like a son to him. I've hosted Bouaka many times, pick him up from the airport, okay? I'm not the one going to show pictures and all of that. I don't particularly care about association because I know the woman I am. I have my own name and I have my own right. So now, let's go here, Elston. The people that are being arrested, do you think these people are within the hierarchy that would have given pathway to the amount of narcotic that we're talking about in any given place to secure it, to bring it into the country, to move it? Do you also think our security system is working the way it should? I'm not saying it's not working. Is it working? Is it effective? Is it efficient? Because if it is, in my opinion, okay, listen, it took Singapore less than one generation to change. It took Rwanda less than one generation to change. It's taking Burkina Faso less than a generation, okay, to change. Right now, Burkina Faso is considered food sufficient. Do you think we as Liberians are hiring the right people, or we are hiring out of fear or out of emotions? So please,
right.
you can ask me and I'll bounce off of you. You can bounce off of
right.
me. Talk
so I'll tell you this much. I'm gonna call a spade here, and let's begin with where you started when we mentioned the FOIA project. Look, we all know this. African leader, typically we know how stern and how, to some extent, they can be tyrannical. So if there was something that were not, their acquiescence, if somebody were doing something behind their backs, if they found out how hard it would be on that person. Here's
Right.
are going to roll. So I'm not one of those who are going to buy into, like I said, I support President Barack, but I'm not going to buy into the fact what they say. Oh, the president initially did not know, and then the whole thing was initiated, and then the president found out. Come on, let's be crystal clear here. The project was not just being erected in Liberia; it was being erected in the backyard of the president, the breadbasket of Liberia. We're talking about something that happened in Lofa County, with the president's home, Foya, Lofa County. So to be in all fairness, if in all honesty, if the president
Hey, hey.
didn't know about it, you and I know heads will roll. But in all honesty, I would say this: putting country first, that was wrong. We spoke against it. It is there today. Who knows? They might eventually more reality will come out about the whole project. We look forward to seeing. Relative to our issue of the drugs today, let me be very crystal clear here. What is being done has been done by this government, and we agree today that they are doing their utmost, but a lot more can be done. A lot more can be done, and we look forward to seeing more being done that will give the country a better reflection. Don't forget, all that is required of President Boyka and this administration is to perform, outdo what the CDC government did. And to their credit, the last government, they tried with road connectivity. And we see today, this government has picked up with the road connectivity. You see, I spoke of Mr. Musa Belete, the head of CMC, giving acknowledgement to where the road had reached in the southeast. Senator of Grand Jida County, Imaya Zopena, couple of times he had alluded to the great job that has been done in terms of the road that leading to the southeast all the way to Grand Jida, Maryland. So we will need that. We need this government to step on the gas because time is fast spent. This is 2026. They have literally 3 years to complete the term. If who knows what will happen in the next election. But if they must rescue the country, they must keep doing the right thing. They must keep headed in the right direction. And we look forward to the country getting better, under this president. This is an octogenarian who is head of the country that we support and we want to see better for the country. I don't know if there are people who are opposed to this president that don't think Liberia should be better under him. That is a negative mindset. But an optimist want to see, no matter who's the president, you want to see the country thrive. You don't have to support the president for you to wish well for your country. If anyone, there are people who may think that the country should not excel under him. I think they are pessimists, and we don't need that mindset. We need optimistic people that want to see him do well, that want to see the country do well. Because who knows? Tomorrow it could be your president that you support. I'll give an example. Like you people are aligned with Mr. Cummings and ANC. Tomorrow, 2029, you see Mr. Cummings gaining huge traction. You see on so many posts. The last time, one of our biggest platform in the Liberian community, Spoon, they had a sampling, and Mr. Cummings was way up there, and so many people were shocked. So, and we know our history. Liberian people have a tendency of telling you where direction they are headed. So who knows? 2029 could be Mr. Cummings' turn. I always say to people, if Liberia should continue on the right trajectory, we should make changes in the right direction, and we should opt for people who have not had a chance to have the charisma and have the passion, and people who have the qualification and the likelihood of being a president. So Mr. Cummings could be the next president 2029, and we want to see the country thrive under him. For where President Bouaka will leave it if he should step aside for Mr. Cummings to assume power. If it's going to be Councillor Gonglo, Mr. Moniba, Mr. Simon Freeman. But the ultimate here is we should not retrogress. We should make progress with our country. So we just want to see better done in Liberia so that we can continue to flourish as a country. Liberia is old. Liberia is oldest in terms of independence. Liberia is very old, 179. That's a lot of years for where we are today, considering some of we've traveled, like you were just speaking about Burkina Faso, where they are today with their young leader. I've been to Uganda, I've been to Kenya, I've been to Benin, I've been to Cameroon, I've been to Senegal. So we see what we see there. Look, I went to a small country like Uganda in terms of when you hear other countries like what Uganda went through way back in the days of Idi Amin Dada. When I went there, I saw toll booth from the airport. They have the airport called the Itebe airport outside of their city. But when you get to that airport, by the time you take a drive a few miles, Yasini, you meet a toll booth, something we do not have in Liberia. 1847, we do not have a toll booth when you leave the airport. That's how you generate extra resources. If everybody were coming through a toll booth from RRA, that's a huge way to generate funds to help the country. But that insight, I don't know where it has been lacking. We do not have in other countries have in Africa. Manhole, when men go to the bathroom, I went to Uganda, Kenya, I saw manhole where men stand up erect and use the bathroom instead of like the traditional everything you just see the regular toilet. Manhole is common in Uganda. I was shocked when I saw in Uganda and Kenya. So we need to upgrade. We need to develop our mindset. We need to develop our country, and we cannot stop. And that's what we do. We continue to pounce on the people that are in power. We continue to call on them to do better so that our country can eventually pick up. Not for us now, but for our children and our children's children. For to get the better of our leaders so they can have a better future. In years to come.
Thank you, Esther. Yeah, I have a different take on your thought, and it's okay. And I'm kind of glad that we're on here. That you,
We just agree to
I
agree.
no. It's not a matter of agreement. It's a matter of context. Context for me, it is.
Gotcha.
I strongly believe in supporting your government when it deserves it, but supporting your country at all times. I will give to Caesar what is due Caesar and to God what is due God. If the government does well, I will acknowledge if that they've done well. When Boaka first did the what do you call it, the one economic crimes court, whatever you call it, executive order, I
Okay.
did a whole article on that congratulating him because that's what I spent the last almost 20, 30 years advocating for, especially the last 10 years on the TRC to be implemented. And one of the things that he ran on. Okay. What I've seen is that we talk, but there's no action. Because you can say, I want war and economics crime court, but then you create a budget and there's nothing in it for war and economics crime court. That means your action does not match your words. Okay. A good leader walk their talk. Okay. And this is not me, this is Confucius. Now, I will support my country. I've always supported my country. So, like now, we have over 6,000 teachers who are volunteer. They put 200 or 300 on the payroll, and what they're being paid, it cannot even sustain them for a month. And we're supposed to jump up and down. But here's my thing: I get the road issue. I live in America. America did not start building roads until way later, when they have already built a system. And you will see the streets that connect, and that's okay. We need it. I particularly believe because this government is now run on building road. This government ran on making sure Liberian young people were drug free. They ran on to rescue the nation. When you rescue, you resuscitate, okay? And then you put in mechanism that will help to prevent what happened so it wouldn't happen again. So let's say, for instance, when America went through their war in the Great Depression, when they brought up the Reconstruction, or what you call, what do you call it, the New Deal, that was their rescue project, the New Deal. So the first thing they did was they put in a mechanism where they needed to make sure food were on the table for the population. They needed to create job. Okay. That's where when Pape Boaka spoke in, I call him Pape Boaka because that's my pops. Whether people like a lot of people don't know this, that's my pops. And if you come to my family, you ask my mom will tell you the same thing. Yeah, it's gonna speak yeah true. It does not mean she loves you any less or she disrespect or she does not respect you. I'm just holding you accountable. Because when you care for people, you hold them at a higher esteem. And when you hold people at a higher esteem, you hold them accountable because you expect better from them. It's not hate. And Liberian people cannot differentiate that. But you have to think at a higher level to be able to differentiate that. And I know maybe there are few of us in the league of our own in those thought process. Now, the Pape promised us jobs. And then when the July 26th, the State of the Union, the State of the nation came out, they told us they created over 60,000 jobs, which ended up not being true. The Pape have to come back and let us know that was not a true statement. The Pape put together a team of supposed to be economic experts, okay, with the vice president leading that group. They came back with taxation, okay, and tax our people. And where did the tax go? And I'm going to come back to the drugs issue. Aston, what is bothersome is, even here, the most wealthy country in the world, if they increase in this, the American government have not, somebody will say they do that, that's true. But the legislature or legislators that passed a new law to increase the pay does not get that. It's the next group after the next election. Ours increase the salary every year. Whereas Liberia stands still. Here is another issue that I have with the leadership, okay? We have an imperial presidency. The president hired almost 80%, in fact, let me say 90% of the higher hierarchy. There are over 5,000 positions, okay? From the president, his cabinet, the deputies, the assistant, the municipals, that would be the superintendents, the city mayors, the zones, the elders, whoever that the government pays. He decides if they get paid or not. That's power. Even with the lawmaker, which should not be, the pay should go directly to whether you like it or not, whether you like the opinion or not. They will hold your salary, they will hold your development funds because you do not align. It shortchange the nation. That is not democracy. That's autocracy, okay? So if the president is transparent, if the president is forthcoming, if the president is vision-driven, Liberia will change in no time. You don't need a gender president because the president of the Republic of Liberia is an imperial presidency. We will teach government. We believe, unitary government is the mother of all dictatorship because it comes in the guise of democracy, but it's really not a democracy. Okay, so hopefully I'm making sense here in respect to what you said. We won the road, but you know where this young man in Burkina Faso did? This is exactly where Lee Kuan Yew did, and this is exactly what happened in South Korea. First thing is he decentralized. Make sure the hospital that is reachable by women. The mothers of Burkina Faso no longer have to pay to have a child. Okay. He built clinic that is reachable within the distance, okay? So just as when America started, right here we got, I think, 86 candidates, okay, in here. Every city in Georgia is 1 day walk. 1 day walk. Every city from one, if I'm in the city of Lawrenceville, which is in Gwinnett County, everybody here should be, if they're walking, it should take 1 day. Okay, so they build their people to build their nation. When you build the people, you don't need to bring foreigners. You bring foreigners right now. You're taking and I wanted to go into this really briefly. Like have been evicted from their land. These land have been given to people who are not Liberians. People are signing on. People did that. How you call it? They're doing domination in the middle of the night, 4 a.m., and you are displacing Liberia. That's inhumane. But you're building road. Who are you building the road for? When the kids are holding the mother's leg, they're crying, they're being traumatized. Who are you building the roads for? When I was a child, I didn't know where Monrovia was until our parents got ready to
Grew up in Nimba?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up in Monrovia, but I said when I was a child, I spent my middle school, my high school in Monrovia, and the rest I've been here all this while. But I'm gonna leave this and we're gonna, but I want to play this when you talk. I want to play this and you can incorporate that in here, please. Let me bring this. I want to play this and I want you to incorporate this where yes. The video today with the IG were very disappointing for me, but this is me, accusing Liberian people because of the pressure on him. Okay,
when he accused the press, the media,
yes,
of funds.
Yes,
okay.
I am an activist. I have been, and I will continue to speak. Nobody pays me. I give money to people in Liberia, so I need him to understand that. Okay, I help keep food on table. I help pay school fees. I help.
And is your right as a Liberian to speak out on any issue.
Exactly. So here we go. We're gonna play this. I want you to make sense of this for us, please.
Definitely. Yes. Definitely. Central and identified key player in this game was definitely sanctioned as state actors at the very, very senior level of this government, of the Republic of Liberia. We have identified key player in this game was definitely.
Okay. Austin, you can go ahead.
Let me take a break because I have my own reservation. I have my own disappointment about this, and I am gonna air it right now. Like you earlier enumerated, look, we have our rights to speak on issues that concern us relative to Liberia, and we should speak freely, you know. And I think it was a little disappointing, firstly, to bring the members of the Fourth Estate, widely known as the press, into questioning, because he made a statement that I would say is pretty blanketed, it's pretty vague. He says some institutions of the media, in a synopsis, they may have taken some funds to compromise their integrity or their institution relative to this drug case. I think it's a little unfortunate. I think people don't realize the reason why the press is so powerful, because the first three branches of government, they are the first three estates, like the executive first, legislatures second, and the judiciary third, and then the fourth is the press. That's why we call it the Fourth Estate. So you can see in almost every government's institution and a lot of large companies and corporations, they have press and public affairs department, like the LNP today, the Liberia National Police. They have their own LNP press department, which is headed by somebody who I shared a microphone with back then, Sam Collins. Back during the WIAS administration, it was Cecilia Clark and my own friend, brother, what's his name, Moses Carter. He was running the LNP's press department, and the ELBs has it. The executive mansion has a press and public affairs department, at least to say the information ministry, you know, and every relevant government institution has it. So I think if you were to address the media, it should be in consultation with the LNP's own press department to come up with such a statement. I think it's huge. And I think it requires some clarity, because the media should not take it lightly that he said something like that. The press union of Liberia, which once upon a time I was a member of, and the Sports Writer Association of Liberia, they should come out and release something relative to wanting to have on IG comment who are
I think they did already. I
say
think they
something.
did earlier. I saw something earlier.
Yeah, and it should be taken seriously because things that I have a propensity of making people to question very powerful institution. The media is a very powerful institution in Liberia, so they should not take it lightly. And I'm glad you read that, which I've not seen. I'll take delight in going to read year after. But in any event, I think it was ill-timed. I don't think it was proper timing for him to accuse the press like that through a blanketed statement, saying that some institution might be compromised today because they may have taken cash from cartels. I mean, you have to give specifics if you're talking to a reputable institution like the Fourth Estate. So that did not sit well with me, and I'm going to be fair by defending an institution I was once a member of, the Fourth Estate. So, I mean, with those things, we don't need to sugarcoat them. We just tell it as it is, as it is. So I'm with you on it. So we say it as it is, and we leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. So then, what's your thought on? And I'm glad you acknowledged the 10 million, and you see that's how we have to be as Liberians, even if we vote for you. Okay. And I will say this in a public space, and Mr. Cummings will tell you. He said, "Yeah, I like our relationship because you don't hold back. You tell me the truth." If I was on a meeting one time and I texted him back, I said, "Mr. Cummings, I'm going to leave the meeting because I'm going to say something wrong and I will sound disrespectful, and I don't want to be disrespectful."
People respect you for that if you can be upfront with them.
Yes.
Level-headed, and people, they will respect you for that when you upfront with them.
Right. So I'm that kind of person. I like when you say what you say, because some people who advocated with me, people who protested with me, Jerlia Pia, all of these people, Darlington Collins, Anthony Sear, Norman Yenton, what's his
George
name?
Lobo, were you guys then?
Huh?
George Lobo, my friend, brother, were you guys?
George Lobo, yes, my little brother, since all day long. Yes, many of them. Okay,
Right.
many of protested with me. They were on this platform. I know the first one were taken down, the second one were taken down. They hiked them all, and that particular platform got almost 1 million following.
Wow.
When they took
then
it
I
down.
wasn't around, but I heard a lot through
Yes.
people that George Lobo that you guys started this thing protesting.
Exactly.
Washington,
But
D.C. and all of
I
that.
have conviction. If I don't feel you, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But my prayer is, because once you succeed as a Liberian, because when I show my passport, it says I'm a Liberian.
No,
even if I have a blue book, it's stay in there, my place of birth.
Yep.
Okay. And besides, we all are tied together. The white people call it intertwined, when things are interwoven. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Where impacts one, it impacts all.
We are intertwined.
Okay. So we have to take Liberia that way. So my question now to this government is, can our president tell us the source of the $10 million project? Number two, who guaranteed those people to bring those drugs into the country? Who protected it? Who delivered it? Where was it stored? How was it stored? I know for a fact that a 0.4 gram of drum did not take it. They tried to bring all of these diversionary tactics that people were diving and going into the sea to bring it. That would be a lot of load and a lot of professional diver, meaning they brought in a what do you call it? What is like what a submarine?
Submarine crew.
Yes. And the only place I know in America, in Liberia, that submarine can dock, okay, that is deep enough for a submarine to dock, that beyond the U.S. Embassy.
Beyond the embassy, we used to see that.
We saw that during the war. That's the only place. Nowhere else in Liberia. And the one place the ship used to enter, that was in Maryland, in Todman House. That now is it's not something to talk about per se. So I'd like to know, what is the next step? Are you guys able to call this president that you're supported? Is he able to take suggestion from the people who supported him with no horse bar? What is the next step? Where do we go from here? Because this is not any, but I'm also still amplifying why this drug. Do we have all the evidence that we need for this drug? You are telling us that this drug is not no Colombian, okay? And I'm gonna start here and say something really quickly. Elston asked Lofa Julius, 2022, when I came from Liberia to register.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted me to go see something. When I go to Liberia, I stay indoor. You see me in the street, I'm campaigning, I'm talking to people in the daytime, or I'm with trusted group. I came to this country with as a young woman before I was legal to drink liquor. So I didn't have no mind party. Tell me, I party. You can't take party that nothing for me. It don't move me. I can see people drinking. I will get in my car and go. I go to almost anything people invite me to. Yes. I will stay 10, 15, at most maybe 30 minutes and I will disappear. I'll pay my respect and I'll leave. That's me. Okay. So this person said, but you come to Liberia, you don't want to see what's happening. I'm like, really don't want to go anyway. I say, I want you to come see. Next to Bwaka House is the Sons Club.
Rehab. Yeah.
They sell drugs right there. I'm not saying they say.
You watched it.
I'm not saying allegedly.
Wow.
And you have Zogos from one end to another, okay, or case on drugs. You have prostitution going. His house is here. The former vice president. His son club is here. Agency right here. Parallel.
Right I have an idea where that is because I know that you're
right there. I don't live in Liberia. Somebody took me there. Okay. And I came back. I told Lofa Julius and I told many people. And I was not the only one there. Okay. So when they say his son is into these drugs, first people say, well, propaganda. Randy was lying. Okay. Stanton on that the Pepper Sue, that all of them who brought this so that inside he got his own, they got their own, it takes one to know one. I'm not gonna go there with him. Right. Okay. But they said Randy was lying. But Randy was on CDC, he was a hero. For CDC, he was a liar. Now that he's talking for UP, he is not a liar. Now they are coming out. They don't have to come out. The people send the video. We authenticated that video. I work in the school system. I get all the AI gadget. I get it free. The detector, I get it free.
Right.
I can just send stuff. It will tell me if it's real. Okay? I'm not sure if the people in there are, but I know the video is real. Okay. Now he came back. My question is, Joe Biden, the most powerful man in the most powerful nation, some were investigated and charged. Investigating. So are we taking Jojo's word for it? Or who is investigating? But we already burned the drugs. So please speak to that. Anything that on your mind. So we
I'm going to tell you this. I was in Liberia too. I'm pretty familiar with the terrain. You just talked about where President Bwaka is and where the former president George Weah lives around that area. I'm pretty familiar with what the place looks like. Look, you're talking about a place that is around Pittsfield going to the Rabat International Airport way, but just in the heart of the city. I play Scrabble competitively. A lot of people know me for playing Scrabble. There's this popular school in town called GL Gibson. It's like Macklin Street somewhere there, close to the Exeter Bar. Look, I used to be playing Scrabble right in front of the fence of GL Gibson School with my friend Lemo Reeves and the boys. We'll be playing Scrabble, and the underprivileged, I don't like to call people Zogo, but the underprivileged and the guys who are exposed to illicit drugs, the drug addicts. Look, the boys will be right behind that area, literally, because there lies the
so big, I'm talking to right here because I don't live in
Yes, thank you. You are. Look, there lies the big graveyard cemetery right back there, and the guys will be right there. You can literally just lift up your head from the Scrabble board where I used to play and see those guys exchanging illegal substances all over the place. The addicts. It's unfortunate. The thing has riddled our whole country. The thing has infested the fabrics of the city. least to say the lead war parts of the country. So it is only fair that we continue to propound and we continue to speak against it until something is done. Like you asked a great question, what's going to happen going forward? We expect our government to put her feet on the soil strongly, act upon it, do what is relevant to make this to come to an end, or if not, curb it as much as possible so that it don't continue to escalate. Look at today, the amount of drugs that we just found in the country is unheard of. Who knows what next if we don't continue to pounce on this government to make them to come down hard on people who are aligned with it. You say there are big hands behind it, then go ahead and name names. Go ahead and take action against people. Don't just suspend people, but
Right.
get them out of positions and investigate them. So if they are found guilty, take action, prosecute them, make people to not go with impunity. And it was serve as deterrent from people who want to do such ugly acts in the country. Take stand. The reason why the people put you there, like I said, not everybody put you there, but the people who elected to put you there represent every one of us. Because they put you there, go ahead and do right by them. And as a leader, take action, do the right thing, so that tomorrow posterity can judge you rightly, and the people can say, yes, you were there and you did your part, and the next president will come and take it from there. But if you do absolutely nothing, it defeats the purpose of the people giving you state power. You know, you are an elder statesman, the people entrusted you with state power, you are there now. Without fear or favor, do the job, do what is right by the Liberian citizenry, and tomorrow people will sing your praise. But if you don't, I'm sorry to say, it's a huge disappointment for those people who, and it's a huge affront for those people who trusted you and put you there because why they felt a lot of people who put you there, they didn't care for you individually, or you didn't have charisma compared to the man who you defeated, George. We know he has all the charisma when it comes to Liberia because what he did in his prior life playing sports, which is what the biggest thing that we can boast, or he's placed on the highest pedestal when it comes to Liberia. He's done it all. So you have no charisma compared to him. But we wanted to see somebody who at your age and at your level of exposure to government come there and step it up a notch, do better and better the country. But we're not seeing that forthcoming, so we have to just speak until we see something better. And the time is limited. This is 2026, 2029 is in 3 years' time, Yassini, and 2026 is literally over. So
It's in
not
2.5 years.
2 years.
Years.
Yeah, 2 years and change. So we hope things can start to get better. We hope things can continue to get on the right trajectory and pick up with a little more pace. Another thing that is frustrating, especially for those who use our voices on platforms to bring this government to power, is the pace at which things are moving. Like, look at this case. You would think that a president who has everything to gain and not much to lose at his age will be very stern and take stern actions and take firm action to curb the thing. But the pace at which things are happening is scary. It's like when the people don't come on the various platforms now and talk, things don't happen the next day. You don't see much action from the government until you see people make a lot of firm statement. Look, we want the government to do this. We want the government. Then the next day you see the government take some little action. What's preventing you from taking all of the actions that's needed in the right direction? But we look forward to things just getting better and better. And how can that be done? I say if it's up to me, 2029 Liberia must move in another direction. And that direction for me is a new leader and a new party. And what do I mean by that? Somebody who have not had a chance to serve as a president, a party who have not had a chance to serve as a party to steer the state of affairs of Liberia. We want to see that because people who've had a chance, we've not seen anything different. So let's try to steer the country into a direction of something new, because Liberia is a puzzle that we're trying to figure out the right pieces. That's how I see it today. So until we can get it right, we must keep trying the pieces that fit, that make sense. So we'll try somebody who has the country, or somebody who has the passion for the job, and somebody who wants to do the job and say, you go there, let's see if you can outdo this government, and that's the mindset that we want to have for the next election in 29.
Thank you, Elston. While you are at it, can you do your closing like your closing statement and your closing cost?
Certainly, no. I think the platform has been smooth sailing. The dialogue has been smooth sailing, and I enjoy interacting with you. And I definitely look forward. To be honest, the other time I was supposed to come on, but in like we have unforeseen circumstance, we're not going to delve into that. But something happened that prevented us. But here we are. The people say, "Tada, I'm here," and I did have a blast making my debut on your platform, and I look forward to many more days to appear whenever I'm called upon. I'm available. I'm certainly going to make my presence felt, because this is what we need to do. We must use our voices to impact our country. We take lightly the medium that we have today. Back then, we didn't have it. I tell people for joke, look, Yasini, 2006 Nations Cup and World Cup qualifier, Liberia was playing Cameroon with the great Samuel Eto'o and Rigobert Song and those guys, all the top players that were in Europe. I was the one holding the microphone with my tiny self at Samarkand, those sports complex, but we didn't have this.
We want to empower people like talent. Yes. That's what Liberia needs.
So, Yasini, you won't believe it. We don't have all the footage, but the people who watch live, the people who remember me, they give references. But what I'm saying, that to me, today we have a lot more leverage. Look at this platform. Look at that platform, the other platform. So many outlets to reach our people, and these tools are very powerful, and they are hitting. And because of that, the government now and the government will continue to act, because the pressure on any president going forward, or any leader or government going forward, will be high, because while people have tools to reach their government, and it's very important. So that I'd say thank you for affording me the opportunity today to come on, and I look forward to coming on in subsequent programs here.
Thank you, Eston. Thank you so much for being here. So in the end, I want to close with this. Aristotle once said, the courage to lead, okay? He said, a courageous leader stands strong in the face of adversity, okay, or adversity, and take necessary risk to achieve results. We look forward to this government, okay, doing all that it needs to. These are hard times. These are trial times. We need the leadership to show up. We need the leadership to be decisive. Okay, the older I get, I'm loving me more. Everything, most of what we said in the past days that people were over and over. Now I see the very people congratulating the president for firing people, the very people who said it was not this, it was not that. Okay, but Mr. President, you want to leave a legacy? Hopefully you do. You need to make the hard call. I know for a fact that the drug were not brought into the country by June. I know the little people did not bring it. And let me call again to the president. My Papa Boaka, this is your daughter, Yasindi Martin Peye. Yes, that's me talking to you. Your RG needs to be suspended. I say fire him until you get enough information. He needs to recuse himself. Let me use the word again. Gregory Coleman, I'm asking you to recuse yourself. All right. If he cannot, suspend him. Okay. And I also think the justice minister needs to be suspended, or he needs to recuse himself. You cannot investigate yourself. And the excuse now we're saying is, and the people can be in police department and the police and do their stuff. No, that's not a true statement. When a police is recognized or is realized or doing what they're not supposed to do, whether it's the sheriff, they will have them recuse themselves, or they will be suspended until after investigation. We have lawmakers. In fact, my former city mayor is still in jail from the early 90s. It's still in jail. Okay. Today, a lawmaker in Georgia is going to jail. So I'm asking you for the belief that the people have in you. And Liberian people, please continue to speak up. Elston, it was great having you. Thank you for a great conversation. I like this because we're not in agreement on everything. you have a different of opinion. You come
Right.
from a different space, and
Yeah.
I do. It balance out the conversation. Thank you so much,
Okay.
and
My
everyone. You
pleasure.
have a good night. Good
I
night,
look forward
Esther.
to it again. Bye bye.
Bye. Yes. Hey, Yaston.
I enjoy the program, man. I like that would just flow back and forth, back.
Well, because number one, we are honest and and knowledgeable.
I enjoy that program just now.
Thank
So
you.
on YouTube,
It's on YouTube. I send you the YouTube.
saw it just now, but before, that on Facebook, I was looking, I said, I said, I guess, let me ask you, where are you? Because I couldn't just find out that, you know what?
Yes.
On your page, on Facebook, and on your page, this year.
No, it's on the big page. It's on the big page. It's on the second top page.
See, I went on your page, Facebook, I said, oh, well, it's not.
I thought I shared. Oh, you see, I thought I shared on my Facebook. Apparently, I didn't. Oh my God.
On the link that you sent me now, I said, oh, it's on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and it's also on Facebook. So
just inbox me, and I'm working with me. I'm pretty fast in responding to people.
okay.
I will come on. I enjoy the program a lot.
Okay, thank you. I enjoy having you too. It was great. I was not talking by myself. It was great. Yes, it was great. Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right. Good night. Thank you. Oh, I'm still live. Lord have mercy.